Hi, I'm going to walk you through how to register as a vendor in Commbuys and how to find and respond to a quote in Commbuys. Our job aids for buyers on mass.gov if you search job aids for buyers using Commbuys. And the pertinent job aids you'll be looking for are complete vendor registration in Commbuys, locate a grant posting and create a response, and withdraw, reopen, and resubmit a quote in Commbuys. So you'll go to the Commbuys webpage and you'll click supplier registration. You'll need either your business's tax ID or your social security number to fill in this information. I'll be filling in a social security number. Provide your company name and an email address. Then click register. Then it will prompt you to fill in some information about your business. You'll want to fill in your company name, vendor legal name, and a mailing address. Fill in as much information as you can, but note that the information prompts that have an asterisk are required. Provide a phone number. And it should automatically pull in your tax ID number or social security number you plugged in. You can fill in as much information as you would like. There's no harm in filling in more information, but as noted, anything with an asterisk is required. Then you'll click Save and Continue Registration. Now you'll fill in user information. Make sure you fill in the information for the person who will most commonly be accessing Commbuys to complete quotes. You'll create a login ID, like your username. Make sure it's something unique. And you'll also have to select a login question and answer. Make sure you write that down so you don't forget it. It'll pull up the address that you plugged in. You'll want to confirm that's correct and then click Continue Registration. This window is for the terms. You'll click Save and Continue Registration. This page has more information you will plug in, such as if you have a DUNS number, you'll click this and type in the DUNS. You will note if you provide environmentally preferable products. You will also note if you provide prompt pay discounts, and you should include in the notes what that looks like. And some more questions that Commbuys will be asking you. Provide the geographical service area and your business structure. I will be selecting sole proprietor for example purposes, but select which one is most appropriate for your business. This section is agreeing to the terms of use for sellers. You can find the terms of use for Commbuys and this link that they have provided. And you will select which business type you are, whether that's a business enterprise or nonprofit organization. Then you will click Save and Continue Registration. This tab is where you will fill in what UNSPSC code your business most likely works with. For this purpose, I'm going to go, it'll refresh and you'll select the secondary class. It'll show you below which UNSPSC code you selected, and you can click which one is most related to your business. For example purposes, I'm clicking on agriculture and forestry and other natural resources training. Then you will click Save and Continue Registration. It will then bring you to a summary page with all of the information you have filled in, including the user you created, the addresses, and all of the information you provided. Go ahead and review this page carefully. If you need to adjust anything, go back to the individual tabs and revise. I'm going to click Complete Registration. And now you have registered as a vendor on Commbuys. You will receive an email with the email address you put in the registration process, and they will email you a temporary password. Go ahead and find that email, follow the link in the email, and plug in the temporary password. It will then prompt you to create a new password, and this will be the password that you use every time you log into Commbuys. Once you receive an email with your temporary password, follow the instructions to fill in that password, log in, and then create a new password. I have done that process, so now I'm logging on with my new password. This will bring you to your main page as a seller. You have news, vendor communication, bids, POs, quotes, and vendor performance tabs. To find a quote or a bid solicitation that you will be responding to, the first thing you'll do is go to this gear-looking marker in the top right, that's Settings, and you'll click Advanced Search. The document type is a drop-down, and you'll select Bid Solicitations. You will need to know the bid solicitation number in order to search. Using the last 5 digits of the bid solicitation number should work as well. I'm going to plug in the entire bid solicitation number. Then you will click Search. It should populate the result for you and the bid that you're looking for. You'll want to click on the blue hyperlink bid number on the left-hand side. This brings you to the bid solicitation. This page has all the information on the bid, including a link to the RFI or RFR that you'll want to review. Click it and it will download on your screen. To respond to this particular bid, you'll scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page and you'll click Create Quote. This will bring you to a quote response page that has several tabs across the screen. First, we'll start on the general. You'll want to put in a description of the quote that you're creating. It auto-populates one for you. If you want to put in any information on info or comments, you'll select that here. Otherwise, the only required field is the description. Click Save and Continue. Once you click Save and Continue, that creates a quote number for your quote. Next, we'll move on to the Items tab. You have to manually move through the tabs for to get to the different screens. Warnings may pop up at the top. This is just letting you know that mandatory fields aren't completed yet, but we will complete those as we go across the tabs. This is the items page, which is showing you a list of if this were a purchase procurement, this is where you would submit the monetary value. Since this is a RFI, you do not have to input any information on the items tab. This is the questions tab. And on this tab, there are required responses. You will see they are listed in order, and the question is provided for you in this section. You'll need to fill in your organization name, street address, city, state, zip code, and other information in order to complete this process. Once you fill in each section, you'll click Save and Continue. The subcontractors tab is not relevant to this specific posting. You can ignore it. The notes tab is also unrelated to this specific posting. You may ignore it. Next, we're moving to the terms and conditions tab. This is a required field. You need to accept the terms and conditions of this bid. You will click yes or yes with exceptions and provide a response and click Save and Continue. You will note I still keep getting the quote validation errors. That's because I have not answered the questions that we went over in the questions tab. But in the interest of time, I am not filling those in. Make sure you fill in all of those questions. Next, I'm going to the attachments tab. The attachments tab is where you can include files for review if you feel like they are necessary. For this specific RFI, I don't believe that attachments are required. Next, I'm clicking on the Summary tab. The Summary tab is just that, a summary of all of the information you've provided for this quote. You should see the responses to these questions from the Question tab on the screen. You'll scroll down, make sure all the information is correct, and then you'll have the option to Submit Quote. I haven't filled in all of the questions, but it will be there for you. You click Submit Quote, and then a secondary screen will pop up saying, "Are you sure you want to submit?" And then you will click Submit again. You have officially submitted your quote to this response.